So what made you have the mindset of transitioning to luxury? Because I think a lot of people, would like to do luxury flips.
So I agree with that. I think we all have limiting beliefs, and I had them early on for sure. Lacking the confidence to be able to put out a product that could sell for that price to a very discerning buyer. But I'm also a math guy.
Yeah, for sure. And I met a lot of people that have done personal development where maybe they're in a routine where they wake up early, they could go to the gym, and they're in this they believe is doing personal development.
Well, I'm a weirdo because I think everyone has different measures of success, and for me, it's very different than most people. I kind of started with the end in mind. Mm-hmm. I think I had a coach once. She asked me what my 100-year plan was, and that seemed like a crazy question to me, but it was really helpful after I thought about it for a year or two.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back to another episode of Simple Chat. I'm your host, the CEO and founder of Simple Lending Financial, Janine Casio. And today we have a very special guest with us, local Houstonian, Justin. Justin, do you mind introducing yourself to our audience?
Yeah, thanks, Janine. My name is Justin Davis. I'm a Houstonian, as you mentioned. I own a company called Holland Fine Homes, where I specialize in luxury new builds in Houston's premier neighborhoods. I've been doing it for a few years now, and I guess we can talk more about that.
Yeah. So let's take it back to how you got started in the real estate industry. How did that journey aspire?
Yeah, I think maybe for most it was intentional, maybe strategic, maybe they thought about it, maybe they read books about it. But for me, it just kind of happened. Mm-hmm. I had a house that I lived in that I tried to sell, couldn't sell it. So someone's like, you should put it up for rent. So I did that, and I became a landlord. Mm-hmm. And I was a landlord for about 11 years, and I got into flipping, and that's kind of when things really changed for me. Obviously, I went from a passive situation to a very active situation, and within a couple of years, praise God, I was doing pretty well. I then transitioned to luxury new construction, building houses starting at 1.5, now building houses at $3 million,
nice.
And that's kind of it. That's what I've been doing, and that's how it started.
Yeah, for sure. So what made you have the mindset of transitioning to luxury? Because I think a lot of people, would like to do luxury flips, but then they kind of have some limiting beliefs around that. So what helped you be this is the space for me?
Sure. So I agree with that. I think we all have limiting beliefs, and I had them early on for sure. Lacking the confidence to be able to put out a product that could sell for that price to a very discerning buyer. But I'm also a math guy. Yeah. And to me, it's all about math. People will always present deals to me, and I'm like, where are the numbers? And I'm like, well, I don't know yet. Well, that's all that matters. It's all math. This is real estate investing. Math is the only thing that matters. Nothing else matters. Anyway, so I realized that doing a $400,000 house was the same process as doing a $900,000 house or a $2 million house. So why not just do a larger value price or higher value home? A lot of people would say, well, what about the payments, or what about this? Or I'm like, well, just a line item. If you're going to make, whatever, $500,000 as opposed to $75,000, does it really matter if you're paying more per month to get there? So to me, it was just a math thing. I just realized, it's the same process. Why not just go higher end? Also, I guess I didn't realize I was creative until I started doing real estate investing, and I realized the higher the price point, the more you can do. Yeah. I don't like to be held back. I want to do everything. I want to do plaster hood. or Venetian plaster. I want to do white oak everything. I want to do white plank floors. I want to do cabinets to the ceiling. I want to do, large sliders in the back of the house. I want to do all that stuff, and you can only do that if you have a high price point.
For sure. Love it. So thinking bigger. So take us back, if you were to be able to talk to Justin from 10 years ago, what would be a piece of advice you'd leave him with?
Yeah, I think the number one is personal development. It's funny, you don't know this, but I just watched your podcast this weekend, and one of the segments you talk about reading books, and that made me like you a whole lot more. I was literally so ignorant for most of my life. I remember telling people with pride that I had never read a book in my life that it wasn't assigned to me in school, and I thought that was cool to say that. And it's embarrassing now. It's such an idiotic thing to say. When I started reading, I realized how much I didn't know. Yeah. And then how much enlightenment and revelation came from reading. And it really changed everything about me, my mind, everything. And I just encourage everyone to, personally develop yourself. Whether that's reading, podcasts, a coach, a counselor, a mentor, being around smart people, self-assess, even more than that, get feedback from others about your situation, whatever that is, or your personal, your business, your health, whatever. And you really can grow from that. And once you start growing, I mean, there really is no limit to that either.
Yeah, everything kind of compounds.
Yeah, so I would argue that, the volume and the depth of the personal relationships that you have in your life are directly tied to the depth of your personal development.
Yeah.
I also think your income is directly tied to the depth of your personal development. I think your physical health is tied to your personal development. It's all about personal development. So when you're young and brass and maybe more ego, less experience, you almost think like not being good at something or acknowledging that you're not good at something is bad. But I think that's the beginning.
Yeah. For sure. And I've met a lot of people that have done personal development where like maybe they're in a routine where like they wake up early, they could go to the gym, and they're in this like they believe is doing personal development. But like I think it's a whole thing of transitioning that to also your work. So how do you like kind of put that gap together?
Well, I'm a weirdo because I think everyone has different measures of success, and for me, it's very different than most people. I kind of started with the end in mind. I think I had a coach once. She asked me what my 100-year plan was, and that seemed like a crazy question to me, but it was really helpful after I thought about it for a year or two. And basically, my ultimate goal is, to get into heaven. Right. The next goal is to be married to my wife for the rest of my life, and then everything else is kind of like secondary. I don't really have financial goals. I do have a freedom goal, to be able to do what I want when I want to do it, completely control my time. That's kind of where I'm at, and what will allow me to do that, right? I need to obviously earn a certain amount of money. Yeah. I need to be able to be physically and mentally healthy enough to be able to maintain what I'm doing, and those are kind of my objectives. And I just try to, and then obviously I need people around me that encourage me, help me solve problems, give me community, all those things. That's really all that I prioritize. And what I found is the money just comes. Yeah,
I love that. So what is next for you? Like, what is the ultimate vision, or how many projects are you managing right now? Do you have like a goal for that? Tell us a little bit more about your business.
Yeah, so I've got 5 current projects. So I mentioned that I started flipping and then I moved into electrical new construction. I actually had my last flip on the market. It's under contract. It's $1.6 million house that I bought early this year, fully renovated.
How much did you buy it for?
$825,000.
How much work do you put into it?
About $400,000.
Okay. Yeah. It's a good payout once that sells.
Well, I mean, it's a good return, but the new construction is way beyond that. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I definitely don't want to disregard that profit, but yeah, the new construction is just on another level.
100%. That's why a lot of people are transitioning like you are doing. And I think that's the key to success too, especially as a real estate investor, not to be so stuck on I'm a fix and flipper, or I'm someone who buys and holds.
I was that person.
You have to adjust. So talk a little bit more about adjusting to the luxury new construction.
So I hired a coach, and so I did 2 $1.5 million houses, and I made roughly $300,000 per house, about 20% of the selling price. And I thought that was it. Yeah. So this is amazing. I just made $300,000 in 6 months on this house, and I did it again. And I was like, I'm going to continue to do that. And one of the things he talked to me about was, he said he was in that $300,000 profit lane for about 2 or 3 years, and he's like, it was just a waste of time. He's like, he should have gone up much sooner. And now he only does $6 or $7 million houses and makes $1 to $2 million per property. Yeah. And I was telling him, I don't think I could do that. I'm not ready. I need to learn more. I need to figure more stuff out. I need to figure it out. And he's like, you can do it. I've seen your designs. I know what you're capable of. So that's just an example of just having, we have these limits, but they're only set by us though. Yeah. And also there's a balance, right? I think there's value in being content, and not just rushing and pursuing and wanting more and more. But then there's also but we also have a certain potential within each of us, right? Yeah. And we need to try to reach it. A friend of mine recently told me, this is pretty crazy, I can't stop thinking about it, was of all the things in nature, only humans don't reach their potential. A tree goes as tall as it can go. Everything else grows to its potential, but humans just limit themselves, whether knowingly or unknowingly. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you
Okay.
definitely did. Yeah, so how can people connect with you? How do you help others? Like, are you open to maybe like mentoring other, like I know you're always like, let me share my journey and see like, you know, how it impacts and leaves a legacy. So how can people connect with you?
Yeah, so obviously I have a huge personal network.
Yeah.
Maybe a less massive online network, but I'm happy to help anyone. They can obviously just reach out to me directly. Obviously, people that know me, obviously anyone on Instagram, Justin Davis MBA, and each of my companies has a page, Holland Fine Homes and Harper Harrison Homes.
Okay.
I recently been kind of brainstorming with one of my trusted colleagues, and he suggested that maybe I start hosting one-day training programs.
Love that.
Because, and this isn't like a criticism, it's just an observation. I've spent a lot of time with people over the years. I get asked, probably a lot like you, hey, let's grab a lunch, I want to pick your brain. How does that happen? It's like half my life.
Yeah.
And what I found is I spend all this time with people, I give them all this information, and then they don't take action. And then they follow up and ask me 900 more questions.
Yes.
And it's like, no one's doing anything. It's like, it's taking a lot of my time. They're not taking action. And I want to just tell people, I'm not asking anybody, I just do it.
Yeah.
I figure it out. Like, I don't have the answers, I just encounter the problem and then I solve it. I didn't ask anyone 500 questions before I did it, I just did it. Like, how do you walk?
You just gotta
How do you
take the
breathe?
action.
You just do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, I'm very generous with my time and energy, but I think I need to formalize it to make sure both parties are aligned, and also make sure that the person has some skin in the game to make them take action.
Love it. You can always host a lunch and learn here at the office.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Simple Chat. Make sure you like and subscribe and share with a friend.